Hello students, it's Nazia Begum here, your physics lecturer, welcoming you all in today's lecture. So today we are going to start our chapter 14, which is behavior of perfect gases and kinetic theory of gases. So in previous chapter we have already discussed that what kind of processes are there and what are the thermodynamic variables and what are the relation in between them. Okay, now here in this chapter we are going to study about that relationship in detail by different laws. Okay, Bayes' law, Charles' law, etc. We are going to study them in detail. And here is a little introduction of this chapter in which they are saying that gases are made up of, a matter is made up of minute particles called molecules. The molecules of any substance are held together by intermolecular forces. Okay, and when we uh, discuss about gases, so the intermolecular forces in gas particles are very weak. Okay, and that's why they are not having definite shape. A gas can neither retain its shape nor the volume. Okay, when once a gas is expanded, see, if solids and liquids are solids are expanded, they can regain their shape. That we have studied in mechanical properties of solid. Okay, their elasticity, behavior, etc., that they can regain their shape. Then we have already discussed some properties of liquids also, fluids also. Now here in this chapter we will study about mainly gases. So based on the hypothesis that matter is made up of molecule and heat can be identified with the molecular motion, Maxwell and Boltzmann developed in the 19th century a theory called kinetic theory of gases. The theory thus developed proved to be very successful in explaining the familiar laws like gas law, Avogadro's law, Graham's law of diffusion, etc. And all that law we will discuss in this chapter on the basis of kinetic theory. The theory also gave reliable estimates of molecular sizes and masses by relating the molecular parameters with measurable properties of gases such as viscosity and diffusion. Okay, then next let's move to next topic, that is ideal gas. So what is ideal gas? Since in a gas the molecules are far apart from one another and their mutual interaction may be assumed to be negligible except during the collisions, the properties of the gases may become easier to study. Thus, at low pressure and a higher temperature, okay, so what is the condition? At low pressures and at higher temperatures, okay, how much higher temperature? High enough to before they liquefy. Okay, so the gases should not be liquefy. Okay, the gases can satisfy a simple relation between pressure and volume and temperature given by PV equals to nRT, where n is the number of moles and r is a gas constant which has the same value for all the gases. Okay, so we can simply say that a gas at low pressure and higher temperatures which satisfy this equation PV equals to nRT is called ideal gas. The value of R is 8.31 joule per mole per kilogram. Okay, and this law PV equals to nRT is called ideal gas law. Okay, and the gases obeying this law are called ideal gases. But in practice, no gas behaves like that. Okay, so no ideal gas is there. Ideal gas is only a concept. In practical it is not possible. Okay, and two important characteristics of an ideal gas are: first, the size of the molecule of an ideal gas is negligible. In other words, the molecules are point masses. Okay, so in comparison with the size of the gas, the size of the molecule of an ideal gas is negligible. Second, the molecules of an ideal gas do not attract or repel each other except during collision. Okay, so if collision is not happening, so there will be no interaction between the particles or the molecules of the gases. Okay, they don't affect each other, neither repel nor attract. It means that the molecule have only the translational kinetic energy. Now let's discuss about behavior of gases. In this we will discuss different gas laws. So gas laws are nothing but the relationship between pressure, volume and temperature. So first of all, let's discuss Boyle's law. So from ideal gas law, PV equals to nRT. If N and T are fixed, that time PV equals to constant, or we can also write P inversely proportional to V. So P1 V1 equals to P2 V2. Okay, equation 14.2, PV equals to constant is called Boyle's law. It states that at constant temperature, the pressure of a given mass of a gas varies inversely as the volume of the gas. So here we can see P is inversely proportional to V. Okay, so at constant temperature, the pressure of an ideal gas is inversely proportional to the volume. Here is the graphical relationship between different parameters obeying Boyle's law shown in figure. So in first graph you can see there is relationship between V and P. Okay, so P is inversely proportional to V. So you can see as V is increasing, P is decreasing. Okay, as we are moving to this side, V is moving this side, P is going down. Okay, so the value of P is decreasing with V. Then in second graph we have 1 upon V and P. Okay, the graph between 1 upon V and P. So according to this formula, this second one, P is directly proportional to 1 upon V. See, listen it carefully. P is inversely proportional to V, but P is directly proportional to 1 upon V. Okay, so by that law, by that equation, here when we draw the graph between 1 upon V and P, so we see that as V is increasing, P is also increasing. Sorry, 1 upon V is increasing, P is also increasing. Okay, and we have two graphs here for different temperatures T1 and T2. So here you can see when T2 is greater than T1, we will have this line. Okay, so in higher temperatures we will see the relationship in a very elaborated form. Then in third graph we have the relationship between P and PV. So as we are increasing pressure, okay, the graph in this graph we are getting a horizontal line, that means the value of PV becomes constant. Okay, horizontal line, what it indicates? That the value, whatever value is there in y-axis, if the horizontal line is parallel to x-axis, that means whatever value we are showing in y-axis is constant. Okay, so here PV equals to constant. So as we are increasing the pressure, we will see there is no change in y-axis. Okay, at this point it is fixed. Okay, at this point again it is fixed, the same value. It is not increasing, it is not decreasing, but it is having a constant value. That's why we are having a horizontal line here. Okay, now let's move to Charles' law. Again from the ideal gas law, PV equals to nRT if now P is constant. Okay, if P is constant, so we will have V is directly proportional to T. Okay, V becomes directly proportional to T. So the volume of the ideal gas is directly proportional to the temperature. or we can also write V upon T equals to constant. That means V1 upon T1 equals to V2 upon T2. The ratio between volume and temperature is constant for each and every value. This is called Charles' law. Okay. Now according to Charles' law, we are having two equations. This one, V is directly proportional to T and V upon T equals to constant. So here you can see these two graphs. Okay. In first graph, in x-axis we have taken T, in y-axis we have taken V, and we can see that V is changing linearly with T. So it is directly proportional. Then in second graph we can see the graph between V or T and V upon T. See, V upon T is constant. Okay. So that's why we again are getting horizontal line. Now next is Avogadro's hypothesis. So from ideal gas law, PV equals to nRT. Okay, PV equals to nRT. But we know that N equals to M upon M naught or N upon Na, where M is the mass of the gas containing n number of molecules, M naught is the molecular mass of the gas, and Na is the Avogadro's number. Okay, so from these two equations, PV equals to nRT and N equals to M upon M naught equals to N upon N naught. In place of N, we can put N upon Na. So the equation PV equals to nRT will take this form. Okay, that equation will take this form. PV equals to N upon Na RT, or we can also write R upon Na NT. Then R upon Na is called Kb. Okay. What is Kb? It is Boltzmann constant. R upon Na is Boltzmann constant. Okay. Then this equation can again be written as P equals to Kb N upon V into T. We have transport V on the right hand side. Then N upon V is equals to density. Okay. Density not number of molecules per unit volume. N is the number of molecule and V is the volume. So that we can show by rho, number of molecules per unit volume, that is rho. And then P equals to Kb rho T. This equation we have got. Then from Charles' law we know that P1 V1, sorry, not Charles' law, equation 14.5, this one, PV equals to Kb and T. We know that P1 V1 upon N1 T1 equals to P2 V2 upon N2 T2. So for the same temperature and pressure, okay, when the P and V are same, we will get V1 upon V2, then N1 equals to N2. That means at same temperature and pressure, N1 equals to N2, that is number of molecules are same. Thus we conclude that equal volumes of all gases contain equal number of molecules under similar conditions of temperature and pressure. This is the well-known Avogadro's hypothesis. Okay, Avogadro found that 22.4 liter of any gas at STP, standard temperature and pressure, contain 6.02 into 10 to the power 23 molecules. So Na equals to 6.02 into 10 to the power 23. This value you have to remember. Okay, and not only this value, but this whole information you have to remember, that how much amount of gas, 22.4 liter of gas. Okay, so in 22.4 liter of any type of gas, okay, at a standard temperature and pressure, the number of molecules are same, and that is 6.02 into 10 to the power 23 molecules. Then fourth, Dalton's law of partial pressure. Okay, consider a mixture of inert ideal gases. Inert gases means those gases which do not react with each other. Okay, when we mix them together, they will not react each other. They will be there together in a system, but they all will have their separate identities. Okay, so inert gases consisting of N1 moles of gas 1, N2 moles of gas 2, etc. in a vessel of volume V at temperature T and pressure P. So from ideal gas law, PV equals to nRT, we know that. So here when we mix the gases, okay, so it becomes PV equals to N1 plus N2 to whatever number of gases are there into nRT, into RT. So P equals to, we are getting N1 RT upon V plus N2 RT upon V, like that. So we can say that P equals to P1 plus P2 and hence on. That means when we mix inert gases together, so that time the total pressure of the system is equals to algebraic sum of individual pressures of gases. This is called Dalton's law of partial pressure. Okay. Then we have comparison of the behavior of a real gas with an ideal gas. So this thing we will discuss in next lecture. For today we have discussed all the four laws, all the four basic laws related to ideal gases. Okay, then this behavior and so many things we will discuss in next lecture. So this is it for today's lecture. See you in next lecture. Till then, goodbye, take care, do some productive work, and the most important thing, be healthy, be safe.